I met Jeff during the third year of law school. I was interviewing at different law firms in the Jacksonville area and interviewed at a firm that Jeff was a partner in. It was called Hedrick, Dewberry, Regan Durant at the time. And I ultimately accepted a job with that firm. And Jeff, pretty quickly, I would say within 6 months, 8 months, really started to take on a mentor role for me as a young lawyer. And over time, we became partners. He became the godfather to my son, and also became a very good friend. It's interesting, Gene and I were actually adversaries in a case. He had a general contractor he was representing in a big construction defect case, and I was representing a manufacturer of windows in the case. And it was a large case that spanned somewhere around 4 years, with lots of depositions in Orlando and in Jacksonville. I was living in Jacksonville at the time and had an opportunity to get to know several of the attorneys in the case, including Gene, and we actually became friends during that case, and then, as luck would have it, later on became partners in this firm. So I've made the decision to practice construction law as a significant part of my practice, and achieving board certification in construction law in that chosen practice area is, I think, one of the more important accomplishments in my experience as an attorney, or in my career as an attorney, because it's a recognition that, from my peers, that I am an expert in the field of construction law. And it also is a recognition that I have the necessary knowledge and experience to call myself a specialist in construction law. My practice includes construction law, business litigation, and real estate litigation. The construction law practice, or in my construction law practice, I primarily represent general contractors and trade contractors, although I also represent some owners. The disputes that we handle as part of our construction law practice, our firm and myself individually, include really a wide range of construction-related disputes. It's everything from smaller lien and payment bond claims, ranging all the way up to multi-party, multi-million-dollar construction defect claims, and really everything in between. One of the more interesting areas that I think that we handle in terms of construction is delay and disruption claims, which often arise on public projects, although they certainly can also arise on private projects. My business litigation practice includes a wide range of disputes, typically involving either a written agreement, a contract, or a business tort. So, for example, it could be anything from a simple breach of a promissory note, or a breach of a contract for services of some kind, unrelated to construction, I'd keep that separate, to a dispute involving a homeowner who's purchased a home and finds out that there's an undisclosed material defect in the home, broker liability type cases, really just a wide range of anything that fits under the umbrella of business litigation, or what's sometimes called a commercial tort, such as a fraud case. If there's fraud in connection with the operation of a business, or in connection with a relationship between two business entities, where you could have fraud of some type, or some type of negligent misrepresentation that arises. All of that fits under a very broad umbrella of business litigation. My real estate litigation practice involves just really what it sounds like, which is disputes related to real property. So that could involve, for example, a dispute over an easement, could it be a nuisance type case, could be a civil trespass type of case, could be a dispute that arises out of a commercial real estate transaction between the parties, and where there's been a breach of some kind. Really, again, a fairly broad practice area that fits under the umbrella of real estate litigation. We work hard, we also play hard. I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. All the attorneys in our firm have really a diverse range of interests outside of the practice. The attorneys in our firm fish, hunt, are football coaches, other youth sports coaches, cook, just a wide range of interests outside of the practice. And so when we're engaged in a lawsuit, engaged in representing a client, we work extremely hard at it. But outside of the practice, we also try to have well-rounded, balanced lives, which is part of the reason that we all enjoy being around each other We enjoy practicing together because at the end of the day, you should practice law with people you enjoy being with.